The roads to Wall Street are not for everyone. They're winding, full of ups and downs, so today I'm going to cover two major pathways, the IPO versus the DPO. The destination may be the same, which is the public markets, but the ride is very different. Today I'll translate the difference in plain English, show you why Coinbase and Circle chose opposite routes, and where I think Ripple could land. In an IPO, a company raises new money by issuing new shares. Banks and underwriters help price, market, and allocate those shares. There's usually a lockup period that restricts insiders from selling for approximately 90 to 180 days. In a DPO, direct public offering, aka direct listing, a company lists existing shares. Typically, no new capital is raised and there's no lockup period. On day one, price is set by the market supply and demand. Coinbase went public via direct listing on April 14, 2021. No new shares were issued, and on day one, their ticker symbol was COIN, C-O-I-N, on NASDAQ. This let the market set the price and allowed existing holders to sell without a lockup period. From my understanding, when Coinbase was still private, their shares were available on Link2's platform for around $30. When they IPO'd, they were north of $300, so a 10x gain. Coinbase's strategic DPO made sense for a few reasons. Their brand was massive and already recognized by retail investors. They had a strong balance sheet and didn't need to raise primary capital, and their willingness to accept organic, market-driven price discovery for their now public stock. However, on the other hand, Circle IPO'd on June 4th, 2025, also around $30 per share, before raising $1 billion. This was a classic IPO playbook: raise a significant amount of capital, receive underwriter support, and capitalize on structured allocations. This made sense for a few reasons. Circle's business is more of a B2B infrastructure, and they're not a household consumer brand quite yet. That's why Circle's traditional IPO roadshow was a major success. Their IPO also made sense since Circle wanted fresh capital for growth, compliance, and expansion. Their world-class underwriters provided pricing, distribution, and post-listing stabilization, which is useful in a regulated and scrutinized industry. My takeaway is that if a company needs capital, values bank support, or must shape the narrative with institutions, an IPO is more than likely the route. If a company doesn't need to raise capital, wants market-only price discovery with day one liquidity for existing holders, a DPO fits far much better. So what about Ripple? My stance is that Ripple is more than likely to do a DPO than an IPO, and here's why. Demand exists on both sides. Retail recognizes the brand, institutions know the enterprise story. A direct listing will let both parties meet in the same pool at the same time without a lockup period. Also, Ripple historically hasn't had trouble accessing capital. Their balance sheet is sound. This just makes the company as transparent as can be. But I can also see the case for an IPO. Their bank and government relationships are central to Ripple's enterprise strategy. An IPO can serve as a credibility maneuver with underwriters and policy stakeholders, and it raises dry powder for acquisitions, custody, compliance, payment infrastructure, and for scaling things like stablecoin initiatives. So at the end of the day, if Ripple's momentum and balance sheet are strong, a DPO aligns with Ripple's open market and equal access mission. If their strategic priority is capital and institutional support, an IPO may be the pragmatic move. In closing, an IPO and DPO are instruments. Coinbase and Circle pick the tools that match their needs. So when Ripple goes public, I'm leaning towards a DPO because of broad demand and clear price discovery. But I won't be shocked if they IPO, if the goal is capital plus institutional signaling. Either path can work. Just depends on the mission. So with that being said, keep your head on a swivel, family and friends. We'll see what happens with Ripple. On this channel, we know they're headed in one direction and one direction only, and that's up and to the right. Reach out if you have any questions or comments. Thanks for tuning in. Love you mucho.